Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Hope you guys had a great week. This week we're gonna be taking a look at another cigar, smoking a little cigar, and talking a little bit of story. We still here with Brother Chris. Man, I think he's gonna be doing it. I was gonna do the El Jefe. You know, it looked like a real good cigar by La Roma de Cuba. But I think I'm gonna pass it up and give it to Chris. You can have this one, my man. And I'm gonna be doing this AJ Fernandez stick. I like AJ Fernandez cigars. And it's called the Goat. Here it is. The Goat. Phew. Smoke break 808, man. We're going to be doing the Goat. Not quite the Goat yet, but we're going to be rocking this bugger. So, what is this? It's a box press, 6 by 52 box press with one Mexican San Andreas wrapper. It's got a Corojo binder with Nicaraguan fillers. I think it's from Esteli and Jalapa. Does it really matter? Yeah. But a real nice cigar. It ain't like it's a Maduro, but it's not as dark as most of the Maduros I see. But it's pretty nice, huh? I don't know if those are blemishes or they just light in some areas. You know, it's not like just consistently dark, you know? And a little break right here. We're going to cut them up and enjoy the stick. Man, it was a tough week last week. At work, man, just working it. It was super hot out there. We had one rainy day that, man, just got soaking wet. And I use what do you call, boots at work. And when those boots get wet, man, you know, they stank. They don't just think, they stank. You know, I said, man, I took off my clothes. You know, I usually change out when I jump in my car. I try to keep the car clean because all the dirt and stuff from working in the dirt. Man. And then I still had my socks on. Hang on one second. The Goat. AJ Fernandez, there's another name that's on it. Nassar cigar? Something like that. Oh, real good draw. Pretty creamy. Uh, how's that, Booker? That's a big stick, huh?
I burnt the wrong side.
You burnt the wrong side. Right on. There we go. Yeah, that's how you do it. You can smoke it from both ends. Yeah. But she still go because your cappy's so big. You know what I mean? You can even trim it down a little bit, right? No. You overcut you lit it from the wrong side. Man. You just had this one. Let me know in the comments again, right? Right now, right at light up. The awesome draw puts out a lot of smoke. I know I had a feeling it was going to be pretty spicy, pretty peppery, just because all the Nicaraguan tobacco in there. But you know, with the Mexican San Andreas wrapper, there's still some creaminess. You know, right off the start. Definitely get some chocolate. It's a pretty good stick right here. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be. I don't know too much about it. I gotta imagine, man, it's you know, over $10 stick. Over here, it's probably at least a $15 stick. You know, not sure. But the band is pretty cherry. Yeah, look at the band. Huh? You see the Goat? Not the greatest of all time. The El Jefe was interesting, right? The El Jefe. I was wondering what is El Jefe. You know, and the thing is like the boss. Yeah. You know, when you get this, and that cigar is a huge cigar. That's why, you know, because I'm fasting a lot. A lot of times I have to smoke only one cigar during the day because unless you know, because I'm not eating, and then you know I'm fasting, and so my fast goes all the way to usually like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock before I eat, and then by that time I'm quite busy running around, dropping off doing my errands. Anyways, so what was I saying, man? And it was raining. I got into the car. I left my clothes, you know, out on the front seat, on the passenger seat on the floor. just because it was quick. It was trying to get out of the rain, get home, and so driving and all of a sudden I said, man, it's raining, so the windows are up, AC going, right? I said, man, there's a stinky odor coming off of me. And then so well, I parked someplace to try to get around, got out of the thing, got out of the car. When I was like, man, what's wrong? I was going to throw it in the back of the truck. It smelled. I said, oh no, it's not that. Then I realized it was my socks. Oh, the pipilo, yeah, pipilo in Samoan, in English, that's pipilo is Samoan for stinky. Yeah, wow, well, it was terrible. It was because of the shoes. Then I got home. I said, hey, Creighton does construction too. I said, man, dude, your shoes ever got wet? I mean, I've been in the rain before, and my shoes probably got wet before, and it wasn't that thing. And so he said he had his one, and then but he used what do you call those sheets that you throw in the dryer? Yeah, you throw do the so he told me throw those sheets in the dryer, throw some newspaper around inside of it to dry it out. Man, the next day, man, it worked like magic, man. Uh, I was sniffing my socks the next day, making sure, and it was all good. So, if you ever get caught with your shoes getting wet and they start to stick, get those what do you call? I don't know what you call them, sheets for the dryer. Yeah, the oh whatever they are, just make your clothes smell good. Yep. Throw those in your shoes. Use the newspaper. If you guys have any ideas that's better than that, in case it rains, it gets me all wet again. Okay, either that the thing is change your boots to rubber boots. Mm. Yes sir, yes sir. This if you guys had this one, man, again, let us know. This is a pretty good stick. I tried there was another Cuban stick that I wanted to try. It was the Reserva. Those things are really good, but their pricing is just so outrageously crazy. It was like maybe $120 stick. I didn't buy it. It was a given, but yeah. But then you got these New World cigars that you could probably even my range is somewhere around between the $8 and $15. If I was to buy, I have had to purchase. That's why, for a while, you guys been blessing us with these sticks, man. Brother John and OB out there. Even Brother George has sent me some cigars that were Project X. Yeah, Project X. That was a pretty good stick. Hmm. Yeah, man. It was just smoking the what do you call that? There was this other cigar, man. They're made exclusively for Hawaii, but I only had one of them, and I did it last night, and that thing was really really bold. I think one of the things with that cigar was called the Paniolo. I forget who did it. Man, I can't think of the name again, but it's Paniolo. I wrote it down in my daily journal, whatever you call that thing for all the cigars that I've been smoking. I listed it in there, but yeah, it was really really bold. I gotta do it, and then there's another one that I have in the humidor. I'm just kind of letting it sit for a little while, and that we want to do. It's called Aumakua. Man, I keep forgetting who does it. It's exclusive for Hawaii, and so is that Paniolo. It's a Paniolo X, but they're really, really. I tried retrohaling that thing, and it was just so bold. You know, and what I find is sometimes when they're too hard, because I can handle a lot of retrohaling and retrohaling because this one is pretty heavy too as far as retrohaling this. It's a lot of pepper, but I can kind of handle it. That stick was beefy. It was like it reminded me of the Buffalo Trace and the E.H. Taylor that we did. They were pretty bold sticks. And one thing I noticed was it's hard to get all the flavors if it's just pepper all the way. If it's so strong, like this one, you can taste a little bit of the cream. You can taste a little bit of the chocolate in this thing, or maybe even coffee. Yeah, and if I was to guess, a price on this thing, because I like doing that because, you know, like let's say it was a $15 stick. That would be the most that I would probably want to pay for a stick like this. You know, uh, actually for any stick, but something like that. It's a maybe right around there would be where I would place this stick if I was gonna, go out and go buy a cigar, because there's a lot that I think a lot of cigars around that range that'll be just top notch, right? Again, the judge, was somewhere, I think it was around $15 out here, and that was it was a great stick, but so many other sticks that I believe would have been better. But I really wanted to try this one because it was the goat. In the humidor, I have another stick that's called the goat. Now that goat, I think it was about the greatest of all times, right? And whoever that was, and it's a we could make an argument about that one. But what do you call it? So I had that, and I wanted to try this, and then I think on our next review, I'm going to try and pull that one out, and maybe we'll do that and kind of compare it to brother AJ over here. AJ's man, he makes some tight cigars. It's very delicious. Anyways, hey, we're going to take a break as we cut out from the first third, which is about, just about there. Maybe just a little bit, and then we'll hit the second third, and then we'll get back to you guys. Okay? Aloha, shaka shaka. Okay, here we go, man. We stay actually into the second third, and the ashes holding up pretty good. The burn is actually pretty decent. It was a lot, straighter, but it got just a little bit of a bend on the stick right now. Yeah, it's pretty good for a box press cigar, and it's smoking pretty well. The consistency of the flavor is pretty nice. It's good to have something like this. And I don't know if it's they're pretty easy smoke. It's like a maybe medium. I don't think it's less or more than that. Maybe it's not even. I don't know. Medium. I'm gonna say it's just a medium smoke. Everything's pretty well balanced cigar though to me. I don't know. By this time I'd be ashing this thing, but I just wanted to see how long the thing would last. Just because. But it's holding up pretty well. Man, it's so funny because just I think a week. How long ago was it? Maybe a couple of weeks ago. We was at my daughter's you know uh, Fia Fia night. Fia Fia means happy. Night means night. They so it was a Fia Fia night for the Samoan club, and so we went to support them. They was their fundraiser for their big event, coming up in May. Uh, and what one of the funny things is, I don't know if you guys remember, but you remember I got fired before I got hired, and so what happened was one of my cousins ended up there at the place, and I said I remember that she actually worked for that company, and so I told her the story. Man, she almost fell off laughing, and then she started. Samoan ladies when they get pissed off. Oh, no matter if lapo means big and can't walk, you know, they get excited and they start, she stood up and said, well, she was laughing and then she stood up and said, who was the one you, no, I said, take it easy, take it easy. But it was so funny. Just telling her the story. The husband was on the, man, he was just cracking up laughing. It was a real funny thing, man. Yeah. Construction, when you get this thing where the burn is like this, yeah, you get that spearhead on this thing. I don't know what you call it. I call it a spearhead. Yeah, it's all, that means you get a good burn on this thing. And AJ, man, you guys know, a lot of his sticks, man, they just do well. They hold up pretty good. That's not my favorite AJ, though. I, but it's, you're going to check on the goat, and you got to make sure that it tastes Calding, yeah? The Filipinos Calding. You guys ever had Calding, man? A Filipino fish, Filipino delicacy. Yeah, really nice. Right now, it's actually picking up in strength. The what do you call it? The retro hill is still the same. Pretty. It ain't the easiest retro hill, but for me, it's just right there, just right. It's enjoyable when you have good sticks like this. A lot of times that when I do the reviews though, I start chasing it because I'm trying to figure out what it is, that's on there. Sometimes, man, you just gotta chill out and just smoke the thing, huh? Man, today, it's in service. Had some good things out there, man. Like I said, I'm working again, so you know, it's funny because a lot of the kids nowadays, man, they're just I'm out there. I'm just trying to teach the kids. A lot of times everybody's uncle out here, right? So I'm uncle. So every now and then when we gotta get up on the truck, hey Neff, call him over. Go get that for Uncle. Uncle is not climbing up on the truck to grab something. But yeah, man, it's one of the kids. I'm trying to teach him patience, because he's always upset. I said, dude, when you wake up in the morning, and you go out to brush your teeth, do you actually look at yourself and tell yourself that, man, today I'm going to have a bad day? Because that's what it seems like, and then it reflects out there because he's out on the job site and, it seems like he doesn't want to be with everybody because he's always, complaining about the guys. I said, nah, if you can't be working like that. But he's a really hard worker, really good worker. But once you become a leader, and if you're going to act like that, nobody's going to want to work with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just you just don't have to be like that. So I was at church and 'cause I always prepare communion, and while we're doing that, we're sitting in the Bible study and they were talking about Chris, what is the fruits of the spirit? What book is that in? I was talking about the book of the fruits of the spirit. Galatians, was it Galatians? Yeah. So some of the fruits are like joy, peace, right, kindness, and all that stuff, goodness, self-control, right? There's like 8 different ones that they list on there. You could add some in like humility, but man, that joy, whatever you do, man, you guys don't let anybody steal your joy, because when you have the joy in Christ, man, it makes things a lot easier. Then when you get angry, you can step away. This kid actually threw almost a whole shovel load of dirt right into my face, and it was so easy at that time for me to get upset. But and one of the guys that was there that saw it, he was just amazed. He said, because I just turned around, walked away to go wash my face, and he said, Uncle, why? You wasn't pissed off? I said, he probably didn't notice that I was over there. Everybody just works fast, and that's how you get accidents. You're not thinking, you're not looking around and being observant about what's happening. Then you throw dirt into Uncle's face. But yeah, I just walked away and then came back and never mentioned it to him and anything like that. So that means he probably didn't see it. He probably didn't mean to do it. But that kind of stuff's so easy for us to really get upset about it, right? And it's good to confront him. To say, hey, be careful. I was standing right there, right? You do all that kind of stuff, but you can also just not let it affect you so much, right? Because it was an easy thing for me to get pissed off at. It's not even worth it. Just go out, wash my face, and then come back. Then we'll talk about it later when we get to a point where we got to talk about it. I ride with this kid every single day, so a lot of times you know how it is when you got somebody like that, like you don't want to be around them, but nobody else wants to ride with him. So I'm always the one that ends up riding with him because, and man, if the rides come pretty long, at the end of the day, it's not too bad because I'll just fall asleep on the way back to the shop. But just hearing them gripe about everybody, it's just, don't be like that. It's not a good thing. Be nice, be kind. Okay, so we're gonna smoke this cigar down. Man, hope you guys have a great week. I'm gonna end this thing with this, the goat. If you guys had it, let us know, man. Don't forget, do that YouTube thing. Like, share, subscribe, and do all of that stuff, man. Hey, check out Christian's podcast every now and then, man. You guys get a chance. It's the Explicit Christian. If you guys get a chance, man, he's got some things going on over there. You guys might enjoy it. Might open up you guys' eyes to some things. Okay, so we'll see you guys later. Aloha and shaka shaka.